Okay. Hello, and welcome to the University of Illinois College of Law Career Planning webinar. We're going to cover off on a couple of different things today, mostly questions that we tend to get from prospective students about career planning and just the things that are important for you to know before you come to law school. So my name is Krista Gedke. I'm the Director of Communications at the University of Illinois College of Law. I'm going to hand it off to my colleagues in a moment to introduce themselves, and they're really the ones that are going to kind of talk to you and answer questions throughout the webinar. But I just wanted to let our viewers know that if they wanted to submit any questions during the webinar, you just simply go to that upper right corner of your screen where you see those little, it's like a square with about 9 little boxes. You click on that square and then you hit Q&A, and then you can submit questions as we're going throughout, and we can make sure to address any questions that you want to make sure you get answered. So to start things off, I'm going to hand it off to Greg Marecki to introduce himself, and we'll get going.
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today. As Krista said, my name is Greg Marecki, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Career Planning and Professional Development here at the College of Law. I've been at the college a little under 5 years, and prior to me coming to the college, I was a partner at a law firm in Chicago called Winston & Strawn, where I handled a lot of white-collar and commercial litigation matters. And I was there for about 14 years.
I guess I'll take over next. I'm Rebecca Meyer-Scheina. I'm the Director of Career Planning and Professional Development here at the college. I started about 5 years ago as well. Before I started here at the college, I graduated at Stanford Law School and moved to Chicago and worked in private practice. I worked in government, public interest, and did jury consulting, and then joined the college in 2011.
Hi, my name is Jolyn Caroline, and I am the other Director for Career Planning and Professional Development. I've been with the College of Law for 9 years, and prior to joining the College of Law, I worked in Chicago with 2 litigation law firms, primarily with an emphasis with labor and employment law. I also work with students who are particularly interested in working with judges or judicial clerkships after graduation.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Ray. I'm the Assistant Dean for Admissions and Financial Aid, and I'm an '04 grad of the College of Law. I think Jolyn and I actually overlapped a little bit while we were here. Jolyn's also an alum, and I worked in Chicago for 8 years before returning to the College of Law in 2012 in my current position. I worked at a large law firm doing securities litigation mostly, and some directors and officers litigation, and then I did that for about 4 years, and then for the next 4 years I worked at a smaller firm of about 100 attorneys, doing more general litigation, and then also focusing on automobile franchise work. So I've done a lot of different things.
Great. So we'll just jump right in and get started with some questions here. Greg, can you give us an overview of just the services that the Office of Career Planning and Professional Development provides?
Sure. Well, I could talk about that for a few moments or a few hours, depending, but I'll stick to the shorter answer. There's a couple of things I think distinguish our office. First off, all of the lawyers, all of the counselors in our office are licensed attorneys who hold active bar licenses and who have practiced at a very high level. Many of the folks in our office have practiced at some of the largest law firms in the world. So I think that that's one of the things that I think is unique. The other thing that I would say about our group is not just sort of the Office of Career Planning and Professional Development off to the side here at the College of Law. We are embedded in every aspect of the college's activities. A number of us are adjunct faculty. We regularly attend faculty meetings. And we consult with the faculty on a wide variety of issues, not only on how to help folks get jobs, but on how to develop a curriculum and a set of programming that will make great lawyers for the 21st century. In terms of the specific types of services that we offer, some of them are probably no surprise. We certainly talk with students about the kind of legal career that they want and help them analyze their strengths and weaknesses to determine what legal career path might be best. We provide access to specific employment opportunities, whether it be through on-campus interviewing or through leads and other opportunities that we generate during the course of the law student's career. We review marketing materials, obviously resumes and cover letters. We do, and this is something I think we do extremely well, we do a lot of practice interviews. We've developed a very effective practice interview methodology that we think has substantially enhanced our graduates' abilities to get jobs. And we also we do strategic counseling. So it may be how do you approach a particular employer? How should I negotiate? Whether you should negotiate. So those are some of the basic services we offer.
Great. And can you talk a little bit about Illinois Law's on-campus interviewing program? Any of you could probably help jump in on that. But what types of employers come to OCI? How many come? How many students get their jobs through that program? Just kind of expand a little bit on that.
Sure. And I'll start and then I'll hand it off to Jolynn in case I've missed anything. First of all, I think it's important to understand that on-campus interviewing is never, for any law school, a complete solution. There are certain types of law firms and legal employers that do not and will not hire from the on-campus interviewing world. For example, small firms cannot expend the time and the resources generally to go and spend a full day interviewing people. They need something that would be much more efficient. That being said, we have a very strong on-campus interviewing program. A number of different law firms participate. They're usually larger firms because those are the firms that tend to like going through on-campus interviewing. We also have a number of small firms. We have a number of in-house legal departments that do hire. We have some public interest and government agencies. And one of the other things I think that's important to understand about our program is we don't pigeonhole employers into you have to come, in week 1 or week 2. If an employer wants to come and interview students, we're going to make it happen. Jolynn, anything else you can add?
Also, another thing, just to add on to what you were saying, the last component, I think when students ask about OCI, they're only thinking of those first couple of weeks in August or early September. And as Greg mentioned, OCI for our at the College of Law can extend up until final exams of the fall semester. And we also have employers who will come to campus during the spring semester as well. As Greg said, we are very flexible. Whatever it takes to get the employers there, that's what we're willing to do.
Great. So coming a little bit more from the prospective student's angle in terms of, not necessarily knowing what they want to do, what type of law they want to practice, I think that's maybe a common question that you guys might get. What would you say to a student who basically says, what if I don't know what kind of law I want to practice?
Sure. Well, that's a good question, and I would suppose that most people that are coming into the law wouldn't know what kind of law they want to practice. And if they have an idea of the kind of law they want to practice, the odds are very good that will change over time. So what we do to help all students in that regard is we talk to them about a number of different career options. We talk about big firms. We talk about small firms. One of the things that we actually offer, it's a very innovative required class called Fundamentals of Legal Practice. And we talk about a number of different types of practice areas, and we will bring in practitioners from a wide variety of different areas, whether it be government, public interest, big firms, small firms. And so that's going to be one very important resource during the first year. We also, and Rebecca can expand on this probably, we also offer Myers-Briggs testing and to help you understand sort of what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then we will help you match up what those look like versus good career options that might be available. We also bring in lots of different speakers throughout the year. These are called our perspectives on practice. They are usually lunchtime sessions where we bring in practitioners from all different walks of life. And we've seen many times somebody comes into the college saying, gee, I want to be a public interest lawyer, and they decide they want to be a big firm lawyer, and vice versa. So we're very accustomed to that kind of change over time.
Rebecca, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
Sure. As Greg said, we do offer Myers-Briggs testing, which I think is extremely helpful for students who don't know what they want to do, but really want to analyze sort of what are their strengths and weaknesses that will help them identify the practice area that they're most excited to pursue and the type of work that they want to do. And in addition to what Dean Marecki said, I would also add that we have a very strong alumni network who are very engaged with the students, and a lot of times if you're trying to figure out what you want to do, one of our biggest pieces of advice is to talk to as many lawyers as possible, engage with our alumni, learn what they do, and that can a lot of times help you figure out what you want to do.
Okay. And is there anything that you guys would advise students, prospective students, to be doing now, or in the coming months as they prepare themselves for a job search at Illinois Law? Is there anything that they should be doing the summer before law school starts?
Sure. I think the number one thing that you can do if you're in the summer before your 1L year is, first of all, don't stress out about it too much. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for us to work together. You're going to meet with us in October of your 1L year, and we'll certainly give you, all the specifics that you need to know. But I think this is a great time for you to connect with as many lawyers as you can. I wouldn't worry so much about what kind of lawyers they are. Just try to pad your Rolodex, to use a 1990s term, to try to get as many contacts as you can. If you can come into law school having talked to maybe 15 or 20 lawyers about the kinds of work they do, you're going to be a better informed law student. You're going to be able to hit the ground running when you arrive here at college.
Also, just to add to that, for the students who are the prospective students who are concerned, I don't know any lawyers. What I did when I was a prospective student right before starting my fall semester, I actually visited the local courthouse, and I just walked into a courtroom. I actually asked one of the security guards downstairs, was there a particular courtroom that had, a lot of motions that were going on? He pointed me towards a courtroom, and I just dropped in. And I was very fortunate that the judge actually sent the bailiff back, asked who I was. I said I was a law student. I was going to be a law student in the fall, and the judge invited me to actually come into sit next to him while he was presiding over the next couple of cases, and then took me back to chambers and asked me a few questions, answered questions that I had regarding the process of motion calls and motion practice. So even if you don't know attorneys, I would just say drop by the local courthouse if possible, because that can give you a lot of insight.
Great. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the Chicago program, which we get a lot of questions from prospective students about. Greg, do you want to kind of give an overview of that? Just a description of it, what the purpose of it essentially is, and any future plans that we have for the program?
Sure. Well, I should say that the initial portion of the Chicago program it was me being in Chicago. I'm actually based in Chicago and not Champaign. And the purpose for that is because many employers are up in Chicago or close in big cities that are relatively close to the airport up here. So I'm actually based up here in Chicago. It allows us to be able to do not only counseling for people that are in school, but for people that are recent graduates, or if you're up here for the summer. So we now have a Chicago and a Champaign a branch of our office. With respect to the Chicago program, that many of you have probably heard about in connection with the law school search, we have a program that allows students to take classes up here in Chicago, a full load, during your spring semester. So what it attempts to do is to put together kind of an on-ramp for you if you want to be able to do to have a career in Chicago, maybe by clerking in a law firm part-time, or getting to know some judges. In fact, there's a couple of recent, or 3Ls that are going to be doing some externships with some of our alumni judges up here. And so while Champaign has many opportunities to clerk, there's more opportunities, of course, in Chicago. So we're really expanding the network of opportunities. We have a wide variety of classes that are available currently, and since Dean Amar arrived, he's looking at building on those courses even more.
Great. So we talked a lot about Chicago, obviously, and how there's a lot of employment opportunities there. Where do most graduates of Illinois law end up working, and what if a prospective student doesn't want to work in Illinois or in Chicago?
Sure. So the best resource for the exact numbers as to where Illinois graduates go is going to be on the ABA and the NALP forms, which I'm sure you all have taken a look at. But roughly, approximately 50 to 60% of our students will go into Illinois, and probably about 85% of those are in the Chicagoland market. In terms of what do you want to do if you don't want to practice in Chicago, well, approximately 40% of our students every year end up practicing outside Illinois. So what we try to do is to introduce you to alumni in the area, identify potential job leads in the area. For example, one of the things that we're doing, we have a couple of recent graduates that are looking for employment in New York at this point. We're going to be out there and do an alumni event. Dean Amar is going to come out there. I'm going to be out there, and we're going to work to connect our alumni with the couple of graduates that are still looking for a job out in New York. We also offer a fellowship program, a government and public interest fellowship program, and the purpose of that is to launch government and public service careers. And those fellowships can be done outside of Illinois. For example, right now, we have 2 students doing fellowships at the New York City Legal Department. We have a fellow working at the City of Denver's Legal Department. And we have one of our graduates out in Los Angeles clerking for a state appellate court judge in California.
Okay. Let's stay on the kind of public interest track for a minute, and Rebecca, kind of talk about opportunities that are available to prospectives that that are interested in going into public interest.
Absolutely. I don't think I said this earlier, but I am I sort of work specifically with students who are interested in government and public interest careers. And we do a variety of different things for students who are interested in that route. One of them, as Dean mentioned, is the fellowship program, which we specifically designed to launch students who want to get into public interest and government careers, because those opportunities can come along at different times and don't have the same timeline as a lot of the private sector opportunities. But we also have an externship program where we've recently raised the number of externship hours that students can get, which allows students to get course credit for working and volunteering with legal aid societies, with government agencies, states attorneys, public defenders. So that's a great opportunity as well. We also participate, we're one of the member schools of Equal Justice Works, so our students can attend the Equal Justice Works Conference and Career Fair every October, which can lead to a number of either summer or postgraduate opportunities for students in public interest in government. And we're actually one of the founding and key member schools of the Midwest Public Interest Law Career Conference for students who want to specifically work in the Midwest. And that occurs every February, and our students can participate and either get summer jobs or some postgraduate jobs as well. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, we've developed a really strong alumni network, especially in the area of government and public interest. We have very dedicated alumni who have been very successful in helping our current students who are looking to go into those fields. So we offer a variety of different things in addition to those, but those are a few.
Great. And let's talk a little bit about some of the practical experience that we want students to get while they're in law school. So how does Illinois law assist students in securing things like a judicial clerkship?
Sure. For a judicial clerkship, it's never too early for students to start looking at the opportunities to work with judges. So we encourage students, even as early as their first year of law school, to spend their summer with a judge, specifically judges who are alumni or judges who have hired our Illinois students in the past. In addition to that, we have a faculty clerkship committee that we work with very closely so that we can utilize the resources and the networkings that our faculty members have with judges that they've either gone to school with or programs that they've clerked with as well. We also have clerkship alumni who are across the nation. We have clerkship alumni all the way from Delaware to Samoa who are standing by to assist students with either clerking with that particular judge that they're currently clerking with, another judge in the region, or just giving them assistance with respect to assisting with mock interviews, getting application materials together, and answering additional questions. And then finally, our office, we provide individual one-on-one counseling to any student who's interested in clerkships with respect to what to do, how to become a competitive candidate. We facilitate programs where we have judges and alumni come down to campus to talk about the benefits of clerking, as well as we pay for the mailing of clerkship applications, which very few law schools are doing currently.
Great. And outside of clerking, what other types of summer employment opportunities are available to students when they're in law school?
Sure. Well, there's a wide range. Most 1Ls will do externships their first year. These are opportunities, as Jolene said, to work with judges, probably public interest agencies, maybe state's attorneys' offices. Relatively few firms do hire 1Ls, although we're starting to see that change as we go forward. We're starting to see more big firms starting to hire 1Ls. There are, of course, certainly in the 2L year, a lot of firms that do hire, large and small. There's a number of folks. They will generally do it for academic credit. It's uncommon to see folks in the public sector pay kind of summer law clerks. One of the things that we're doing that's new this year is our corporate counsel practicum. You know, for years I had said to the administration here that it was important that we develop an opportunity for students to understand the life of an in-house lawyer, because ultimately they pay many of the law firm bills that are out there. So we now have a corporate counsel practicum, and that's going to give students the opportunity to work in an in-house legal setting, gaining great experience under the tutelage of experienced in-house lawyers. So those are some of the samples, some of the things that Illinois law offers.
Great. So we only have probably another minute or two left, so why don't we kind of close out by talking about some of the other types of programming that career planning offers to our students. I know we have some of our kind of signature events actually coming up in the next month or two, so if you guys kind of want to talk a little bit more about some of those things, that would be great.
Sure. Well, there's a number of different things we do. I mentioned a little bit about our fundamentals of legal practice. We have our perspectives on practice, which again are opportunities for students to learn more about specific types of practice areas. One of the things that we do, it's going to be in our 25th year this year, we have an annual Alumni Student Career Conference where folks come down to Champaign, and alumni come down to Champaign and provide students with advice on the job market, and they do mock interviews, we do speed networking, we do panel discussions, and the faculty are also involved in that effort. So it's really a tremendous program, and we think it's something that really sets us apart. I also, in terms of programming, this isn't a formal programming note, but I just want to emphasize something that we really pride ourselves on, and that's the concept of accessibility. We are always available to take calls. I regularly do mock interviews and consultations with students late at night on holidays, weekends, whatever. As a matter of fact, I did a mock interview, I think it was 11 o'clock Eastern time yesterday, and that was because somebody had an interview on Monday morning, and trying to do a mock interview at 6:30 in the morning probably would have been, that would not have been timely. So if you need help in a specific time frame, we're here to provide it for you.
Great. Does anybody else have any kind of closing thoughts or anything else that we want to put out there to perspectives about career planning? Good.
Just to add, call us anytime or email us. We're on the website. I'm at marecki@illinois.edu. We're always happy to chat with you, and if you would like some advanced consultation and would like us to review your specific situation before you get here, we're happy to do that.
Yep. Great. Yes, and as Greg mentioned, the website is law.illinois.edu, and you can find contact information for the Office of Career Planning and Professional Development there. You also can find contact information for the admissions office if you have any specific admissions-related questions as well. So thanks to everybody for joining us today. Thank you for our participants, and we will hopefully be seeing you at Illinois Law coming up soon.
Thanks.